Look at this.
What's good, Ked? Welcome back to another yap video. Yes, sir. It's been a minute since I made one of these. Now, what are we yapping about today? Well, of course, obviously, with the release of Palworld 1.0, you know, Twitter, the wondrous place of Twitter, has been berating me with a bunch of stupid fucking discussion. And while looking at all the discussions going on around Twitter 2 weeks ago, because I am recording this really fucking late, there were some things that that caught my eye a little bit that I wanted to kind of dig into a little bit further, like I think more discussion worthy topics instead of just
Pokemon stinks, Pokemon is trash, Palworld is good, oh no, Palworld is a bunch of fucking copycats.
And now, why am I talking about this? Because I have some interesting thoughts, I think, and two, I'm a Pokemon fan, so I gotta, you know what I mean, as a Pokemon fan. Yeah, I'm saying I did make like an entire hour-long video yapping about Pokemon. Now, before we get into the video, first background, so you obviously understand where I'm coming from. As a Pokemon fan, you know, like I said, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, mainly of the side games, the anime, mainly that side of stuff, not so much of the mainline games. You know what I mean? If you're stupid and dumb and don't know the difference between the two, a mainline game is like Pokemon Sun and Moon, and a side game is like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And in regards to Palworld, I'm not necessarily a fan because I've never played it. I also don't really give a fuck about the game, but you know, if you want me to try it out and make a video on it, I guess I could just drop my Steam right here and you can gift me one. I don't know, like just gift me the game a little bit. I don't know. I'm not saying I want to play it, but I mean, if you gift it to me. But yeah, I've been new about Palworld since like it was like before it was even like released on like a bunch of U-bums. Yes. I'm a nowhere. I knew about the game because it got announced during a games award like 2022 2023, some bullshit like that. But I still feel the same way I felt when I first saw the initial announcement, which was whatever, this looks mid, there's probably better games to play. But yeah, let's get on to the, you know, before I get to like the main point I want to talk about, I want to kind of just look over both sides of the discussion, because you know what I mean. And if you're, I'm not going to be putting any proof, by the way. I'm too lazy to go search for like tweets regarding these things, so you know what I mean, you just had to be there type situation. Right off rip, let me say this about the discussion: it's fucking stupid. It's just such a nothing burger discussion. Both fans, both sides are both stupid, okay? Let's just get that out the way. Both of y'all have no lives. Please move on and do better things with your life. I can assure you, you could probably accomplish great things instead of bitching on the internet. Now, first I want to talk on the Pokemon fans, since, you know, I myself am a Pokemon fan, so I understand their positioning a lot more.
Please don't kill it, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, Pokemon fans are doing a little bit too much. It feels like they're instigating it, but to be fair, it is very, very much understandable, because if you remember when Palworld first released, a bunch of people immediately, just like Digimon, just like Yokai Watch, just like I don't know, Dragon Hunter, not Dragon, whoa, you know, they immediately when Palworld came out, a bunch of high profile YouTubers and content creators and blah 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 started coming out the line work and saying, oh yeah, this is the Pokemon killer, this is what we want Pokemon to be, yada yada yada, Pokemon stinks, this one is good. Now you need to remember when Palworld came out, or first came out, it was right after Scarlet and Violet. So you know what I mean. And if you remember anything from Scarlet and Violet, is the amount of people who fucking bitched about that fucking game, about the bugs that don't appear in that game, by the way. They don't exist no more, and they think that's the only reason why that game sucked. Which, no, it sucks for a lot more other reasons. I said in my last EAP video the reasons. Don't watch that. But yeah, like I said, a lot of people, especially Pokemon haters, started propping the game up as the game that will destroy Pokemon, you know what I mean? You know, that is what people wanted, you know, what the fans wanted out of Pokemon, which I'll get into later. So off rip, it's less like Pokemon fans started attacking Palworld, but rather not even Palworld fans. I don't want to call these people fans, because I refuse to believe they actually are. These are just agenda pushers, okay? Using Palworld as like you know, its shield. Like, it was mostly those agenda pushers who kind of started the shit, because most Pokemon fans, once again, me included, I said I don't give a fuck about this game, and the only reason why I even think about this game is because it is always being brought up being the better Pokemon. So as a Pokemon fan, I have to like obviously be like, hey, like, y'all are wilding, shut the fuck up, you know, and get on, you know, play defense a little bit, because even though Pokemon's standards have fallen immensely, especially with Scarlet and Violet, I still like the franchise, believe it or not, because like I said, I'm more of a fan of the side games anyway. But yeah. And then another thing that the Pokemon fans are wilding about is the PAL designs being copied from Pokemon, which I did look over the PAL decks after 1.0, and off rip, this little guy right here. This
Who does he look like to you?
I don't know. I need to see the full image. This is why I hate this website so much, because they don't even show the full image, but they show these fuck ass ads. Like, fuck you, man.
Whoa, that was Cobalion, bro.
Yeah, that's why I got redesigned.
They got this is giving like Chikorita mixed with something.
The head shit is high key Leafeon. Jolhog? I was gonna say Togedemaru.
Togedemaru? Yeah.
This Felbat? I swear on my soul, this is just Absol. And I'm not talking about the rap. What? Never mind.
Bristla, bro. Can we get an enhance on Bristla?
Oh, low key? That's...
You know, you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like this, yeah, this is just Incinerate, or not, whatever, Reboot. Ooh, that was...
Oh, I thought you were giving a reaction for another reason.
No, though.
These are Palmons, bro? I thought there were cooler Palmons, bro.
I'm saying chat, Palworld YouTube series.
Everyone saw this and was like, oh yeah, this Lucario. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't see it.
Yo, I got that in Smite right now, bro.
Probably just because of the years.
Walaska. Yeah, these fucking names, bro.
I know this one. I thought this shit looked like Electabuzz. Oh, cat.
That is a mid Electabuzz. This guy has a machine gun.
Salon. Just name the Pokemon Schlong. Overall, I won't say like every Palmon is a direct copy. So like, let's get that out of the way. Like, I don't think these guys are straight up copying. However, there is the idea that you know, they are taking some shit from Pokemon and very rarely switching it up. It's very much a you can copy my homework, just don't make it similar type of deal. I have a few examples, obviously. You know, I didn't come unprepared. First we have Cremis, which just looks like Eevee without the big ears. It's just Eevee more poofy with big ears. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This little, like, this little fuck is just Eevee. There's also a Dinosom. People, this is also one of the examples a lot of people use back when the Palworlds first started catching flack, which is, it's just a fusion. It's just a fusion between Goodra and Venusaur, or Meganium, I think people were saying. I'd say more Venusaur, mainly because of the plant. It's more reminiscent of Venusaur. There's the Pal Sekhmet, which is just Anka from Animal Crossing. This isn't even a Pokemon. This is just Anka. You know this. Then we have Xiaolong, aka Schlong. While it doesn't look exactly like Rayquaza, the body, the arms, you know, I mean, the way how it interacts within the world, obviously it's very reminiscent of Rayquaza. Now, I don't mind if it took influence from it, but it looks like Rayquaza, dude. Like, obviously, I think they got the head. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, like, the head is a little bit different. But, like, once again, the body, even, like, a little bit of, like, the decals on the body are very reminiscent of Rayquaza. I can't just ignore that. What else? There's Necromos. That's just Ceruledge, and don't get on me. Oh, well, actually, it's like, you just changed the legs, okay? It's Skylander Swap Force now. It's still the same fucking Pokemon, okay? You just changed the legs. Oh my god, you're so creative. Jet Dragon, which is just the Latinas and Latinos. I will say it is like similar to with Schlong and Rayquaza, where it's mainly the body type more than anything else. And then last but not least, it's definitely not least, Panthalus, which is Kyogre. I'm sorry, I'm sick of this like whole like discussion. Like, I'm sorry, Panthalus is literally just Kyogre. Obviously, very minute changes. It's still Kyogre. Like I said, these aren't exact one-to-one copies. That's not the issue. The issue is that a lot of these PAL designs feel like they were taken from, or at the minimum, influenced by Pokemon's designs. The reason why I'm saying feel is mainly because I haven't looked at any of the concept art for any of the PALs, so you know what I mean. Now, this in itself isn't really an issue. The only reason why it is an issue is because people are claiming that Palworld is better than Pokemon. How can Palworld be better when they're blatantly taking designs from Pokemon and changing them just enough to create a visual difference, but not enough to make it distinct from Pokemon? AKA, a lot of the PAL designs don't have a strong enough visual identity to not make someone think of Pokemon. So it creates a situation where it's like, these are obviously not Pokemon, but I can't help but think of Pokemon designs when I look at these ones. I feel like my main issue with a lot of the PAL designs is that they feel like they're using Pokemon as the base idea rather than taking influence from Pokemon's design philosophy. But realistically, Pokemon fans just need to ignore this game, because while yes, Palworld fans did start the whole discussion, it is Pokemon fans that have been the ones who have been pretty much been throwing the wood into the fire, you know what I mean? You're actively fanning the flame. So like, if you really don't care about this game, if you really hate it, ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to be calling for a cease and desist. Like, there are actually better companies to call to do that shit on than just some indie development studio. Now, on to the Palworld fans, because I actually have a lot more to say about y'all, because y'all have been the vocal minority. And once again, I don't believe y'all are actually fans. I just think y'all are using Palworld as a shield to push your own agenda because you have no life, and you're a loser, and you get no bitches, and you have no one that loves you. Fuck you. First things first. Y'all fucking stink at defending your fucking game. Like, I'm sorry. Once again, bringing back up the McDonald's Kyogre, you know, the way how people were defending the thing. Obviously, once again, like, there was a very clear, correct answer to be had, and that is, oh, Panthelon? Okay, let me make sure. Panthelon. Okay, Panthelon is just influenced, or its creation was influenced by Kyogre. We're okay with that. Most people are okay with that. Not only is it the constant denial that, oh, these two, no, there is no resemblance at all. They are completely different, and yada, yada, yada. And then number two, the most dumbest fucking take I think I've ever seen, period. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all are dumb as shit, is the whole thing of like, oh, I guess we can't make whales anymore because Pokemon made a whale first. Which, by the way, before Kyogre, there was Wailord. I know they were introduced into the same generation, but for you know what I mean? Like, y'all are talking about whales. There is literally a whale Pokemon that came out the same generation. Why the fuck are y'all not bringing that up? Because, by the way, that whale design looks completely different from Kyogre. So it's less about the fact that, oh, it's a whale, and it's more of the fact that it just looks very fucking similar. Like its base is very much just Kyogre, and they just changed up certain aspects of it while keeping the base relatively the same. It's pretty much like buying a BMW, changing its body kit, and then saying it's a new car. It's like, no, you just changed the body kit. They're like, yeah, it looks different, but like, it's still technically the same car, because the chassis is the same, the engine is the same, wheels are the same. You just change how it looks. And it's less about the idea that, oh, they're copying the same concepts as Pokemon. No one gives a fuck about the concepts. You can have the same concepts as other fucking monster catchers. But the more important thing is what you do with that concept. Panthelon doesn't feel like it does anything unique with the concept. It just takes what was already done and it just changes it very slightly to make it its own unique thing, but hasn't made anything realistically new. Now, the second thing is that bullshit ass Dragon Quest image that people keep putting up, which from sources tell me, not sources, I'm just one post on Twitter that I'm too lazy to look at, but it says some shit like, oh, this fucking image was made as a joke way back in the day. Nobody actually took it seriously. So in retaliation to people calling out Palworld's mon designs, copying Pokemon, and being very uncreative with those Pokemon or those pals that copy said Pokemon, what the Palworld community did was find this image right here and then said,
Yeah, well, Pokemon is like that too, so it's a little hypocritical of y'all.
while technically under normal circumstances, yes, it would be considered hypocritical. It would only be considered hypocritical if these designs were the same. They're not. Like, once again, like, this is another thing of where they are maybe copying the same concepts, but ultimately they are fulfilling different roles. They don't look the same. That is the whole idea. I don't see the same base. I don't see the same. I don't see the same structure. If we're looking at it in a very serious sense, a lot of the comparisons are very either fucking stupid or it's just like you're reaching too hard. People will see two fish and be like, okay, well, you're copying the fish. No. Pokemon fans aren't even doing that with Palworld. We're not saying, oh, because you made a fish, you know what I mean, you're copying Pokemon. But all in all, like, the Dragon Quest image is just an overall bad faith because it's taking the most extremist ideas of copying from the Pokemon side and applying it from Pokemon to Dragon Quest, which, while yes, that does breed hypocrisy on the Pokemon fans side, at the same time, it's such a fickle argument if you have eyes, as once again, even if they are influenced by some of those designs are influenced by Dragon Quest's designs, at the end of the day, you can't look at the two and be like, oh yeah, these are the same thing. You can't look at one of the monsters from Dragon Quest and then one of the monsters from Pokemon without putting them side by side and then being like, hey, do you notice anything specific, or do you notice any genuine similarities outside of just they're a fish, they're a duck, they have a beak, you know what I mean? Another thing is, there are too many people who are championing this game because it's not Pokemon. Now this brings me back to my point of, I feel like most of the people who are using Palworld to shit on Pokemon aren't really fans of Palworld, hence why a lot of the arguments feel so disingenuous and so poorly made, especially with the whole ideology of like, this is what Pokemon needs to be. Because that just, when you say something like that, that automatically tells me that you're not a Pokemon fan. You were never a fan of Pokemon, you've never liked Pokemon. And the only reason why you know about it is because it is one of the most popular franchises on Earth. Like, especially because a lot of people are saying, oh, Pokemon needs to change up its formula because it's been stale, as if the reason why so many fans, actual fans of the games, have not been liking Pokemon since Generation 6, not even since then, since Generation 5, is because Pokemon has been trying to change it up every generation since Gen 4. Pokemon has not been stale for a long time. Gen 5 gives you a narrative where the writers are really trying their hardest to make it something worthwhile. Gen 6, which was the jump to 3D. You have Gen 7, which was stepping away from its, its roots, its tradition. You had Gen 8, which is utilizing the Switch's power to make something a little bit more cinematic. You have Legends Arceus, which flips the entire script on Pokemon and making it a way different game, even down to the gameplay in its entirety. So much so that people can't even consider it a mainline Pokemon game because of how different it is. Scarlet and Violet is the first true open world Pokemon game where even every story event, every single thing, you choose how you play that game. You choose the directions that you go to. And I don't have anything for ZA because I didn't play that game. Nor have I watched anyone play it because I just did not care about it after a couple trailers came out. But Pokemon has not been stale for a long fucking time, like since the game first came out. So this whole idea that what Pokemon needs to do is to change is stupid, because Pokemon has been changing over the past 30 years of its existence. And I'm not dumb, I know what they mean by change. I know they don't mean they don't want more better written stories or different gimmicks or changing up the way how battles are done. Like, I know what they mean by change is that they don't want Pokemon to be an RPG anymore. That's why Palworld is the main game that people are claiming now, because Palworld isn't an RPG. I'll get into that later. Like, I know I'm yapping about this too much, but like, it's because this part in particular really angers me the most, because these aren't people who are passionate about both of these games. These are people who just want to see Pokemon, the brand, the franchise, fall. They don't care about the quality of those games. If they actually cared about the quality, they would be critiquing the games on a much more bigger scale than just, oh, the render distance is shit, the render distance and the frame rate is shit. They would be talking a lot more about the actual aspects of the game that fucking matter. Case in point, shut the fuck up. A lot of these people aren't defending Palworld. They're using the situation to bash on Pokemon without understanding how to bash on it. They are just seeing a game that is being compared as the Pokemon killer, and they're using that to bash on it. I know this has been going on for like years now, but like, it still is super stupid, or it's still super annoying to see every fucking time it comes up. And the last thing I really want to talk about with Palworld fans, and the actual reason why I wanted to make this whole video in the first place, is in regards to the people who are saying, oh, Pokemon needs competition. Please stop saying that. Even though I do agree that Pokemon does need some competition, especially with the release of Scarlet and Violet. They got way too comfortable dropping some mediocre, undercooked, underdeveloped, boo-boo, you know what I mean? However, Palworld being that competition just doesn't make any sense, and that's just for one simple reason: they're not the same game. Like, Pokemon is an adventure JRPG with monster catching / battling, whereas Palworld is a survival crafting game with its main gimmick being that you can tame monsters and use those monsters to fight or turn them into slaves, or, you know what I mean? Outside of the monster stuff, where even then there is a difference in how both games approach those, where Pokemon is a turn-based RPG while Palworld is more real-time combat. Outside of the monsters and stuff, they're just not the same game, nor do they try to be the same game. They don't have the same goal or core. If anything, Palworld is more in competition with Ark Survival Evolved. And realistically speaking, Palworld is just Ark with a Pokemon mod and texture pack. Another thing is the opinion that Palworld has to be the competition because of the fact that it matches Pokemon in sales, which, by the way, not only is Palworld below half the price of a regular Pokemon game, especially nowadays, but it is also available on multiple platforms, which means that it has a longer reach, or a larger reach, you know what I mean? It's more accessible compared, you know what I mean, to be able to be purchased, rather than Pokemon, which is exclusive to Nintendo. But either way, none of that information matters, because sales don't matter at all in this conversation. It's like saying a toilet paper company is in competition with a paper towel company because their sales match the same, even though the both products from those two companies fill entirely different needs, you know what I mean? While yes, both can be used as tissues, fundamentally you are not buying toilet paper as a replacement for, you know, paper towels. You're not buying paper towels as a replacement for toilet paper. But the main takeaway is that the competition needs to be similar to Pokemon, you know? Even though Messi and LeBron are both athletes, they aren't in competition with each other as being the greatest of all time, because they both play different sports. So now, with Pokemon, what I consider competition for it is literally anything that I described Pokemon as being, which, as a reminder, is a adventure JRPG with monster catching / battling. Now obviously I did not just make this video just to say that and then get the fuck out of here. I'm obviously, you know, as a nice as a nice human individual, as, you know, a fire person, you know, I got some examples lined up. I did my research, I did my due diligence, finding some games that I consider to be in competition with Pokemon. So
Your name before the video ends.
And so I have it split off into 3, technically 4 sections. The first section, which I'll get into right now, is, like I said, direct competitors. So games / franchises, because a couple of these are franchises now, but franchises or just standoff games that I feel like actually can compete with Pokemon, and I wouldn't be mad at it. For these games, I would compare Pokemon to, I would compare Pokemon to these games or these franchises and then say, hey, maybe Pokemon can do this, maybe they can do that. Now, off rip, it's very obvious. They just had a new game that released last year. Fucking Digimon. You want Pokemon competition? Go for Digimon. It's literally the very first Pokemon killer type of fucking game or franchise that came out. It did die for a little bit, but it's been making a big resurgence, especially with their PS4 titles. Streets have been saying a lot of those games are good. I saw Cyber Sleuth and I really want to get that. And there's also Digimon Survive. While that one doesn't play the same as Pokemon, so I wouldn't count that. The new one though, Digimon Stories Time Stranger, that's a good game to look to. It also has the budget to be actually able to compete. It's a franchise that has existed for almost the same amount of time as Pokemon, I'm highly sure. So also just recently, Bamco just announced that the Digimon IP just reached its highest ever annual profits like since the 2000s, aka like since when Digimon pretty much started like popping off. So yeah, no, I mean, it's safe to say that it's back on the line as competition. The second game is Dragon Quest Monster, which we brought this game up earlier, Dragon Quest, with the fucking stupid ass image. They also, Dragon Quest, even though it's an RPG series, they made a side series or side games called the Monsters series, which you capture monsters. That one is a little bit more similar to Shin Megami in the way how it handles itself, but also I forgot to mention this. I'm not counting Meg 10 games simply because even though they do have that creature collecting aspect to them, they don't share that same for all ages type of feel that Pokemon has. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Digimon, Monster Hunters, Dragon Quest Monsters, the other games in this list, you can allow a kid to play. You know what I mean? It's rated E for everyone. While, Meg 10 is more like for teenagers and shit. Teens, young adults. So that's the only reason why I'm not counting those games. But if those are also other alternatives that you can, get into if you are looking for something that exists in the same vein. And to finish off the trifecta, the main 3 games that I've like actual direct competitors, not only are they direct competitors, but they have the budget, they have the pull that is necessary to actually, overtake Pokemon or like act as like genuine competition on all fronts, not just the game being similar in its core, which is Monster Hunter Stories. Once again, spin-off series. I only put this on the list because a lot of people bring it up. I've never really seen any game. I think I've seen like one gameplay of it with like somebody riding a Rathalos, and that was it. But a lot of people say it's pretty much similar to Pokemon. So I think the only difference is there's real-time combat. I'm not too sure. So those are like the big 3 competitors for Pokemon. These are rivals, pretty much. Even though 2 of them are more side projects. Persona was a side project to Meg 10. Persona is bigger than than Shin Megami. And an honorable mention in that big 3, just like how in anime we have Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. We also have a fourth, a hidden member, a 4th hidden member, and that is obviously Hunter x Hunter. In this list, however, we have Ni no Kuni, which was made by Level 5. Not only that, they are the same studio that made Yokai Watch, so they also have a history of being competitors with Pokemon as well as a Pokemon killer. But they also have a second series of games that are, monster collecting, whatever the fuck, called Ni no Kuni. Those games look pretty fucking cool. I think there's a 3 that was announced in 2019. I don't think that franchise is alive though, especially because Level 5 has been like, dicking around with AI. So we shall see. Also, one last thing about Ni no Kuni, apparently it's only the first game that has the monster collector shits. Apparently the second game is just all over the place and doesn't really focus too much on monster collecting. But I mean, hey man, go still play those games, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But now that we're out of the big competitors, the big boys, I'm gonna give you all some more that are actually align a lot more with Pokemon. And off rip, my personal favorite, mainly because it's the one that I want to play the most, Cassette Beasts. Because the new one, what is it, Cassette Beasts 2002, looks really fucking good. Not only that, it's also HD 2.0. It looks fire as fuck. There's not much to say. Go check, go play that one. Then there's Lumen Tail. That one came out recently. I haven't seen enough on it though. So then there's Temtem, which is an MMO, pretty much like an MMORPG. Still an RPG, still has a story that you can follow along and what have you, but it is an MMO, so that means it is massively online. So, you know, if you want Pokemon but online style without playing the web browser game, there you go. That's a worthy competitor. Next is a new one. I don't know if I would consider this like genuine competition, mainly because I feel like it takes a lot more from OG Pokemon than anything else, and that's also just because I haven't actually seen any gameplay for this game. But it is Dokimon. Its aesthetics is very similar to the Game Boy games, the original Game Boy games, but that one has been making a lot of rounds around social media, mainly because they've been posting about it like fucking crazy, or the developer has been posting it like crazy on Reels and what have you. But I would say if you want something that is more attuned to the original Game Boy games, I would definitely say play Dokimon. It's usually on sale on Steam for like $2. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's pretty easy to get that game. Next is Nexomon, which is actually a Pokemon clone that I've heard about way, like, I think before 2020. But not only is it a fully fledged out franchise now, kind of. Like, they have 2 games. They have a 3rd game coming out. And not only do they have a 3rd game coming out, but that 3rd game is going to be, from what I've seen, it is going to be 3D, so you know what I mean, maybe that might rise up to be one of the bigger competitors for Pokemon, who knows. Another one, Coromon. I just learned about this game through my research. It looks fire as fuck. I want it. Can someone buy it, please? Potential playthrough, Coromon, like I said, 2D pixel art. A lot of very fun Pokemon designs, or not Pokemon, a lot of very fun monster designs. Go check it out. I should have probably mentioned this at the very beginning, but I will be leaving links to these in the description if you want to go check them out. So, you know what I mean? Do yourself a favor, especially for these smaller ones. And the last one within the regular competition, or games I feel like are worthy competitions, is Elestrals, which isn't out yet. It comes out next year, but I seen some shit on it. It looks very good. I don't know what to tell you. It just looks very good. But once again, 2D pixel art. I think it might be 2.5D. I can't remember for sure. Also, I just learned this. Apparently, this game was originally a card game. It was originally a card game, and then they got their fans to crowdfund a budget so they can make an actual video game. So that's cool. Now, a little subsection within our very first section is the itch section, because if you are looking for more indie games, like more, you know what I mean, a lot more smaller scale games that exist within this little niche. You like what I did? You like that word use? Niche? Oh shit. I got 3 games, technically 2, because I don't think one of them is in development anymore. Anyway, first off, Bot Hacker. I played like an hour of it. Is really fucking good. It is turn-based combat, where, you know, it's Pokemon but with robots. You're allowed 6 move slots, robot designs. Very fun. There's like this parts section in the thing, so I'm assuming that when the game is that the developer is working on a part of the game where you can make your own robots, that might be interesting. Or you can upgrade your pre-existing robots to have different things. I don't know. That might be interesting. It's turn-based, pixel art, obviously. I think it's made with RPG Maker or Godot. I can't remember. But the most interesting thing regarding its gameplay is that there's an energy bar. If you have the energy needed, you can take a turn. So pretty much think of it like TCG, where to use a move, you need a certain amount of energy cards on your Pokemon or on your card. So that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty cool. Because then it doesn't make every battle feel like, oh, I need to spam the attack constantly. And then it goes from, okay, well, now I need to strategize. Like, okay, do I skip this turn to use my stronger move, or do I just attack now? You know what I mean? So that's fire as fuck. Second one is Master Monster Tamer Legends Awaken. All right, so apparently this game was actually the prototype version, the beta version, alpha or whatever the fuck, alpha version, whatever the fuck, for Dokimon. So yeah, just ignore this one. Now the last game is Creature Collector, which is the one that I high-key think got abandoned, but it has this cool little type chart, so that's mainly the reason why I wanted to include it. I didn't play the demo because, like I said, I think this game that got abandoned, like the last update for the game was like last year, I think. So like at the beginning of last year. So I don't think this shit is real. But yeah, all of those are games that you can, you know what I mean, that I would consider genuine competition for Pokemon. Now obviously I have some more games listed here. This next section being, I would kind of consider it competition. Not really. Like these are games that I would compare to Pokemon because of the fact that they are just similar to, too similar to Pokemon to like create a distinction of it not being a Pokemon clone. You know what I mean? So number one is this word. This one is said by the developer himself. It's the Dark Souls of Pokemon. So take that as you will. And that's all I will have to say. It's just Pokemon by Dark Souls. Like, you see what I mean? These are games that don't really have a clear identity. They are just like Pokemon but X, Y, and Z. There's also Litalis, which is like Coliseum. There's like 300 monsters slash summons slash thingies, fighters that you can get, capture, tame, whatever the fuck it is in that game, and pretty much you use them to fight in a Coliseum and where you are trying to become Alexander the Great. Nah, that's really all I have to say. That's that you're just trying to become the emperor through the Coliseum. Once again, has the same aesthetics. The other one, just like the other one, original Game Boy games aesthetic. You know what I mean? There are also two other games in here, Cambrox and Bug Boy, but they're not out yet. Cambrox comes out in 2027. Bug Boy comes out later this year. I don't think there's an actual release date yet. It just says it's coming out this year. And also, there isn't really much gameplay that I remember from them. I could low-key check right now. My voice does need it. Yeah, like in their Steam pages, it's just a bunch of pictures. There's no like video so you can see the gameplay or see like certain shit. It's just pictures. Once again, well, actually no, Cambrox has more like RPG Maker, Fire Red, Gen 3 style, while Bug Boy is once again Game Boy era aesthetic. But yeah, those are like the games I would kind of consider competition. Not really. And now this last section are games that are like Palworld, aka games that aren't at all similar to Pokemon, but they just so happen to be creature collectors. So I'm just throwing them in here because I thought they looked really cool. The number one, we have Beastie Ball. I just have this in here because it's as a joke, but it's just a creature collector for volleyball. You're playing Haikyuu. Number two, we have Monster Sanctuary, which is a fusion between Metroidvania and monster fighting. You know what I mean? There's a lot more platforming in that game. It's a 2D side scroller. It looks really fucking cool. Would I play it? Probably. It actually looks really fucking tough. Next we have Chronomon, which looks the coolest to me out of 4 games that I have in this section. It's just Stardew with monsters. You can also go into like a basement and fight monsters with your monsters. It looks cool as fuck, and some of the monster designs look interesting if I remember them correctly. I think there's like only one that looks like Dratini, just like changed the horn with wings on its head. And last but not least, Digital Legacy of Zero. This game is nothing like Pokemon. Matter of fact, it's more like Digimon than anything else. So I would probably put it in that in that conversation instead. But it looks cool. It looks like it's made by a furry. I don't know what to tell you. You think Digimon has like the highest percentage of like furry fan base? Anyway, but that game doesn't come out until 2027. So anyway, that's all I got for this video, man. Hey man, I hope I wasted your time because you deserve your time to be wasted. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this felt like a giant waste of time, but I'm not gonna lie, you clicked on this video, gang. First and foremost, if you're please don't subscribe to me if you want videos like this. I don't make these kinds of videos. I primarily just do gaming. So go watch my other shit before subscribing to, you know what I mean, to finalize the deal as well, because and I'm simply just more proud of those other videos that I make. You know, I like gaming more than doing these yapping videos. These just come as like a once in a blue moon hints of inspiration thing that 9 times out of 10 are usually discarded and thrown in the garbage. So you know what I mean? So once again, just before you subscribe, I don't make these types of videos often. Go watch my other shit before you even think about subscribing. Now with that being said, I do kind of like making these videos, and I may or may not make another one, not anytime soon. We'll see. Like I have a like 2-3 ideas that I really want to do, one of them being related to consoles and shit. Just yapping about what's going on in the gaming console sphere, you know what I mean, and just, you know, talk about that, or some anime shit. One of them I know for sure I'm gonna make. I just need to watch the anime that video is gonna be based around, which if you've been on this channel for a minute, it's an anime that relates to the channel, so you know what I'm saying. But there's the second anime one is just like, it's just something I want to yap about, like the current anime fan base or the current anime sphere in terms of discussion and shit. Since, you know, I am an OG fan, you know, I've been here. I've been watching anime since like 2017. 2017 was like when I really got into it, 2017, 2018. So, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't really feel like making those videos, except that, you know, that one video that relates to the channel. So if you end up getting one of those, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, sorry for wasting your time. Sorry for still wasting your time. By the way, that Palworld video option thing, you know, buying me Palworld so I can make a video on it, that's still an offer on the table. I'm not joking. I'm kind of joking. I'm not though. But yeah.